So in the last segment, I was talking to you a little bit about this concept, and it's something that a lot of people just don't understand. They don't want to understand. They don't get it. And I'm gonna share it with you today. It's marketing 101. You know that's my passion. Yes, I do lead a lending team, but I love marketing because marketing is where the money is made. Who do you think makes more money? Patrick Mahomes or the guy that sells Farmers Insurance? I don't know for sure, but my guess is Patrick Mahomes is making more money than that guy at Farmers. Just throw that out there if you watch that commercial at all. So here's what I want to share with you, because I hear a lot on various radio and TV stations about this concept of cut rate realtors, and you don't want your realtor to make too much money. Well, do I really care? Now, if I can pay the realtor more to get me more, do I care? Now, cut rate realtor, what's their job? They've got to do churn and burn. They've got to get them in, get them out. Do they care how much money the property sells for as long as the property sells? Well, the longer it's on the market, the more money that they're putting into the marketing expenses, if they're doing any. The more money they're putting into the marketing expenses, well, that's taking away from their profit. If they're doing a 1% listing and you're looking at this at say $1 million property, they're going to make 10 grand regardless of what happens. They just want to get the thing sold. They don't care how much you get. That's not their motivation. I know. I hear it all the time. Ron, that's not me. I'm all out for my clients. Hogwash. Because if they said, well, will you sell it for nothing? The answer is going to be no. So here's the issue. Now, what if you go on the other side, on the buyer's agents? The buyer's agents, what if we give them an incentive to get on the phone and call everybody they know, get them at the property at the right time, marketing, and show that property to everybody they know with a lot of people in the audience watching that what's going on there? How do you make that happen? Well, I was at a conference this last week, and there was a property that was being discussed that had been on the market for, several weeks, many weeks. It was in wine country, and it had a listing price of, I think it was like $1.2 million. They made a change to the buyer's notes, the agent notes, and a property that was getting 2 or 3 calls, not offers, but calls per week, gets 4 appointments in 90 minutes. Why? They made a subtle change. So here's the deal of how this works. This is what it is. It's where you are, as a seller, are going to say to your agent, do you understand the 7% listing technique? And here's as a seller saying, why would I want to do that? I can probably get some agent to sell my property for 5%. Well, you're right. You can. Is it going to do any good? Is it going to make you stand out? How do you get extra exposure? Well, you get extra exposure by incentivizing the agents. Now, I know, we're going to get it again. The agents, the buyer's agents say, I don't look at the commission. Hogwash. If the commission said $1, are you showing that property? No. If the commission says 0.5%, are you focused on that property? No. Are you calling everybody you know in your phone book that might have a potential interest? No. Will you show it if somebody really forces you to show it? Yeah, that you might do. But you're not that excited about it. How do we get excited about the property? Well, now here's the issue. Remember this concept, because this is an important concept, is the agents, a good agent, a full-time working agent, has a database of people who are either investors or looking to buy. And when the right property comes on the market, they pick up their phone and they call those people. If they're so inclined, if they're so motivated. So let's take a look at this concept of 7%. What I'm going to tell you to do is the listing is going to go at 7%, and your agent must commit to giving the buyer's agent 4% of that. Why would they do that? Because you make more money. You, the seller, the owner of the property, is going to get more money in the long run, and we're going to talk in depth about that when we come back. So let's go back to our discussion of cut rate realtors and why it's costing you money and why you should be demanding that they pay the buyer's agent more money. So let's start this from the beginning. Let's talk about a listing that is a $990,000 property. You've talked to the cut rate guys and gals, and you've got market analysis. Maybe you've even talked to those that are in the traditional real estate world saying, I'll do it for 5%, 2.5% to the listing agent, 2.5% to the selling agent. Wonderful. Okay, so now what happens there? You're just like every other Jack and Jill on the market. No real reason for anybody to be excited about your property over the next property. Now, here's what I'm going to suggest, because what I'm telling you works and it's guaranteed. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, so let's see if you do add 1% to the listing price. So everybody else has said that property is worth $900,000. I'm going to tell you, list it for $999,900 because that's going to cover that extra percent of commission that we talked about. So that's going to get you where we start. That's our starting number. Now you're going to advertise this that 4% is going to the buyer's agent. And I'm just going to round that off and say that the buyer's agent is going to get $40,000 in commission. Now, when the buyer's agent sees $40,000 in commission, they're looking at it and saying, who am I going to call today to talk about that 2.5% commission or this $40,000 in commission? They're calling everybody. Now, I'm going to suggest list the property on Wednesday. Let it go live on the MLS on Wednesday. And as the seller, you have the right to say, I'm working on my property. I'm getting it ready, and I don't want anybody here until Saturday morning. You must stand strong on that. Okay, so got it listed at $999,000, $900, and we're doing 4% for the selling agent, the buyer side. That would be the person that sells it. That they call it the seller's agent. It's kind of confusing. We'll just call it buyer's agent in here. Now, what are you going to get after commission on that 4% on that $990,000? If they do 5%, you're going to get $902,880. Now, what if you're going to get on that same property with a $999,900 after the commission? Well, you get $992,907. You're better off already. Now, what happens if you're able to get more money than that because you've created a buyer's frenzy? Here's the issue. On that $990,000, the likelihood is that they're going to have to take a price cut on it right now. That's going to be a negotiation. Okay, so I give you a little bit of a wrong number right there. So what if the negotiation goes back to $950,000, right? You have to take a little bit of a cut on that, and you're getting 96% of the list price, 96% of list price, which is not outrageous, right? So now you're going to net $902,880. That was where that number was. I had that a little bit off there at the beginning. Now, when you get a lot of people coming through your property on Saturday morning and all the agents have all their people and they start looking at their clients and they're saying, look what's going on here. This property, there's no way that it's going to sell for $999,900. What do you want to do? Do you want it or don't you want it? Well, what if they come in at 1% above? 1%. Well, think about this. Now, where you had a 4% negotiation because you were just like every other Jack and Jill on the street and you netted out at 902,880, if you're getting 1% above, you're netting out at $939,266. $939,266. Are you understanding where we're going with this? Do you get it? This is called marketing. Because when you're like every other Jack and Jill on the street, when Mr. or Mrs. Buyer calls and says, I just saw this property on Zillow, will you show it to me? Sure, I will. And I just saw this one on Zillow. Will you show it to me? Sure, I will. And you say, oh, but wait a second. Look, did you see this one? I think you might like this one better. Why did they say that? Because they had an incentive to say it. Why do you go to wherever you go for an item that's on sale? Because you got an incentive to go there, right? Why do you go to Taco Tuesday? Because tacos are cheap on Tuesday. Why do you go to Wine Wednesday? Oh, half-price bottles are on Wednesday. Why do you go to happy hour? Because you've got an incentive to go to happy hour. Why is the agent pushing the property that has a 4% commission on it? Because they have an incentive to do so. Let's take it one step further. What if you have to negotiate the property and you get a full price listing on that $990,000 and you get 4%? Well, maybe, what do you say? Let's say 3% over. So your $999,900 sells at 3% over. That comes out to $1,029,897. You know what the net is to the seller on that one? $957,000 after commissions. Now, what if you got that full price listing with the 5% commission? You're netting out at $940,500. So full price, you get $940,000. And if you get a 3% over because you knew what you were doing in marketing, you get $957,000. That's $17,000 more to you, the seller, net after the commissions. Now, yes, I know that there's selling costs involved, but that's on all of these, so I didn't put it in there. Every one of these are going to have title and escrow and all these other fees that go in there. But that's going to be the same regardless of sales price. That's not driven by the sales price. That's why I only use the commission in our numbers. Think about that concept of what's going on here. I want you to understand that the commission is part of the marketing plan. And yes, I know that at Ron Siegel Radio, we've got a 99-point marketing plan that all of our area trusted professionals have access to. But the bottom line is, how much money are you getting? Don't worry about what somebody else makes. You know, maybe they can make $1 million if they're going to give you $2 million. You know, that's hypothetical, right? I'm just saying, if they're going to get you more money, share it.